What is going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV. In this video, I'm going to talk about my TV right there, which is the new OLED TV for me. It's a 55-inch LG CX OLED TV. It's my first OLED ever. So I'm going to give you my impressions on OLED TVs and overall, since this is an OLED TV. Specifically what I think about the sound, the quality of the video that you get out of this, playing games on it and watching movies and things like that. So let's jump right into it. First of all, let's talk about this remote. This remote, especially when I was coming from, I had a probably like a 2018 Samsung, I think it was a 6 series. It was one of the higher models, the LCD LED TV, and it looked great, very thin, very bright. But the remote had like 5 buttons on it or something like that. This has like way too many buttons. The look of this is kind of ridiculous. There's like so many buttons on here. So finding things I feel like is a little bit difficult at times. But once you do, it's pretty self-explanatory on how to use it. But am I a huge fan of this remote? Not really. Also, going into the remote, when you want to use it, you can use it like almost like a Wiimote, like moving it around the screen. And this isn't, you can do it. I don't love this way. So what I end up doing is just pressing the buttons to go up and down or left, right, wherever I need to go. A little bit more old school. This just feels a little bit unwieldy in terms of like where you're aiming it. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that. So, going into that. Also, the menus themselves, they're okay. It's not too bad. It does take a little bit to get used to it. But generally, once you get the hang of these, the menus, the settings in here, it's not too bad. I guess I'm just used to more the Samsung. I think Samsung's is a little bit cleaner and easier to get through. They're kind of similar, but there's a little bit of a difference here. This seems like it has almost more options in here. In terms of the options you get, you get pretty much any option that you would want in terms of setting up the TV from the pictures and the levels of the colors and the OLED stuff, the OLED settings, and turning energy saver on and off and things like that. So you do have a fair amount of different settings in here to go through in terms of changing and adjusting anything that you really want. It has Dolby Atmos for the sound. You can plug in speakers, obviously. Has built-in TV tuner if you want to connect a cable or just over-the-air antenna. You can change your different connections for the network because it has built-in Wi-Fi. Accessibility options, support, so you can do the software updates, and also has Apple AirPlay and Google Chromecast built into it. So if you have Apple devices or Chromecast devices or anything you want to cast from a Chromecast device, you can to this TV. Now, some other cool things about this TV is, coming from an LCD/LED TV, which I loved that Samsung TV. I thought it looked fantastic, but I will say the colors on this, and I think you'll hear that from basically everybody, the colors are just so much more rich and vibrant on here. They're amazing on here. It really looks great. Now, if I just had this TV and then I went to my LCD TV, like just a random person, they probably, I'll be honest, they probably wouldn't notice a difference. But when you go on here and you really, I've been looking at that Samsung TV for 3 years at this point, basically, and these games look, especially on the PlayStation, because you get up to 120 hertz at 4K. They look amazing on here. Really, really happy with the quality of this. One thing I would definitely, without a recommend, is there's a bunch of videos on YouTube. One of them I followed is just how to set your TV up for when you do want a game. And one of the big things that I definitely needed to do was when you go in here under picture mode settings, without a doubt, one of the major things you want to do is OLED light, put it up to a 100, due to the fact that, supposedly you might get less, longevity out of the screen because you are maxing out the brightness of it. But that's one thing, coming from that Samsung TV that had really, really bright display, this almost seemed dim to me, especially in areas such as where it was a dark environment. It was almost difficult for me to see. So it did take a little bit to get used to it, but once I got that up to, because by default it's on eco mode. Once you get this the OLED brightness backlight to 100, it definitely helped out a lot with the brightness of the overall set of the TV. Because like I said before, I was having issues. It would be like light in my room, there's sunlight in my room, and it was a dark environment, and I honestly I had almost trouble seeing it at that point. But once I had everything adjusted, I haven't had any issues with seeing the brightness at all. At this point, it's just like the colors are so seemingly spot on with everything, especially with this game right here, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You just see like this is like fall, and like there's a lot of foliage, and this is a really beautiful game, and sunsets and sunrises and rain and snow. It just looks absolutely beautiful on here. I'm really happy with how everything looks on this TV. I'll dive underwater here. You can see. So it's amazing, this TV, in terms of that kind of stuff. I'm going to switch over to the Google Chromecast, and on this one I have it set up as just standard. I thought standard looked the best on this, but this looks great too. I mean, the colors are just so rich. The blacks look amazing. All the colors are really rich. Like the red looks amazing. I know it looks kind of crappy on here on the TV right now with the camera, but because it's all kind of blown out, but you have to take my word for it. It looks really good. Again, this probably isn't going to do justice, but when you watch these videos, you just see so much detail and color and really beautifulness in the picture. When you're watching movies or videos or TV or playing games, it's really nice. Another thing I love about this TV is the sound. This has, without a doubt, the best speakers just coming out of the TV. You would think like a lot of the time with a TV, you're not going to get great sound. This has amazing sound. It's like really rich and deep and just sounds great. You'll be pretty happy with all this stuff. So let me just play a video real quick.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Greggles TV Daily. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. There is a pretty darn good deal going on right now where you can get it as little as $139.
And it's kind of hard to, it's recording the sound off my microphone, but you kind of have to just take my word for it that, the sound on this is truly amazing on here as well, coming out of these, regular speakers. So again, just to reiterate, the picture is beautiful. The colors are amazingly rich and deep and beautiful. The sound is amazing on this TV. The operating system in terms of the settings and going through that kind of stuff is okay. I'm not completely lost with it, especially when you go through like a guide of someone walking you through what settings to set on YouTube. You kind of get used to everything. I don't really use the smart TV feature of it. It does have it. I just use a Chromecast with Google TV hooked up to it. I like that better, but it does have apps and Netflix and all that kind of stuff if you want to use it. I don't love the remote. The remote's a little bit busy, but again, you'll kind of figure it out with the way you want it. It feels kind of big too. But beyond all that, when you go to a TV like this, I wasn't like, oh my God, this is crazy different. I can definitely notice a difference. But if you're coming from like a really good, solid LCD TV, a QLED TV, something like that, there's going to be, those TVs are really bright. This gets bright, but not to that extent. So I think a lot more people are turned on by bright colors rather than rich colors. So it really just depends at that point what you get and what you see. So, but I think that's the big point. I think the QLEDs will probably wow people more than this would. But when you want the best, quality of colors and things like that, this is great. This would probably be the better option for that. So thanks for watching. If you want to pick this up, I'll link it down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you down the road. Peace.